We are starting out our Parenting and Education Day with very important and essential information. Chris Yadon from the Unique Foundation is here with us. They believe that hope and healing is possible. They support victims of child sexual abuse and also work within our community to help educate and prevent abuse here across the state of Utah and beyond. Chris, thanks for joining us today.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, it's an honor to have you to connect virtually. Tell me more about the Unique Foundation.
Our mission is very simple to describe, but very difficult to do. And that is we work every day to eradicate sexual abuse and its impacts. And we do that by empowering parents through education to reduce the likelihood that their children will be abused. And we also help adult women who have been abused as children find hope and healing.
Now, this is a difficult topic. It's a hard discussion to have. People don't know how to speak about it within their families, their young children. How much of a problem is sexual abuse here in Park City and across Utah?
Well, unfortunately, sexual abuse really doesn't know any boundaries. It's pretty consistent in all walks of life across Utah, including Park City. 1 in 5 children will be sexually abused before they turn 18. Just to give you a sense for some Utah specific stats, the CDC does a study every 2 years and they ask high school age kids about some sexual violence questions. The most recent was done in 2019, and 11% of our girls here in the state of Utah report having been raped before they graduate, and 22% of our girls here in the state of Utah report having been sexually assaulted in the last 12 months. And these are horrific statistics, and frankly, it's got to stop. We can do better here in Utah.
Those statistics are terrible. Now, I'm curious, what are some long-term effects of sexual abuse?
Well, what happens when someone is sexually abused, especially if it's hidden or pushed under the rug by the family, is they often develop symptoms of PTSD. So the result is things like mental health disorders. So a survivor of sexual abuse, 85% of them as adults have a diagnosed mental health disorder. 30% struggle with eating disorders. 30% have attempted suicide. So a lot of these other problems that we deal with, including drugs, alcohol, substance abuse, the suicide, these secondary issues, the real issue that they're actually dealing with many times is early childhood trauma, with sexual abuse being one of the big ones.
And what can be done to prevent sexual abuse in the first place?
There's nothing more important than the primary caregiver, which most often is a parent. Parents can have a huge impact on preventing sexual abuse, both in reducing the risk that their child will be abused and reducing the risk that their child will abuse another. If I were to just pick one or two, there's a lot, but if I were to pick the 1 or 2 big ones, the number one would be open dialogue with their child, particularly around topics to do with sexual health. You've got to give your children those words. You've got to give them an outlet to discuss sexual things. So if something's off in their life, they'll come to you and intervene before it digresses. The second one is it's critical that parents help their kids understand consent, and from both sides of consent, meaning they need to learn how to give consent, but they also need to learn how to receive consent from another. A lot of our risk, particularly around sexual assault with our teenagers, really has to do with teenagers that don't truly understand consent, and then they force themselves on another rather than respecting their boundaries.
And what services does the Unique Foundation offer?
Yeah, our services are a few. So for adult women who want to heal, we offer a retreat program, which is a 4-day in-person experience followed by a 9-week online course. This program has been studied by third parties and has shown to reduce PTSD symptoms by 37% on average and increase life satisfaction by 45%. For parents who want to reduce the risk of abuse, we have a lot of online learning primarily on our website and through our social media channels, where you can get little vignettes or little micro learning sections that help you as a parent learn about key things you can do to reduce the risk in your home. So on that prevention side, it's all about educating the parent.
And how can we get more involved? What can we do as a community to help prevent abuse?
Yeah, there's so many things a community could do. We're very fortunate here shortly in Park City to be holding a fundraiser dinner. That's some way to be involved. In fact, I love with all the new families moving into Park City, moving in from out of state, they're looking for a way to contribute to the state of Utah and make this a better place. That's a definite thing you can do. You can come to that gala and donate, or that dinner, I should say. It's not quite big enough to be called a gala. It'll be more of an informal dinner due to COVID. And that people can purchase tickets at uniquefoundation.org/events. That's spelled YOU. So that's a critical way to get involved. We certainly need the help in our COVID environment. We've been hit by COVID when it comes to donations, and to keep this critical work going, you can do that. You can also go on our two websites, defendinnocence.org and uniquefoundation.org, and learn what you can do in your community, including facilitating community education to get the information into the hands of those that need it.
And Chris, in the last few moments that we have left, I'd love to hear why you decided to get involved in the Unique Foundation.
Yeah, there's many reasons, and the reasons I initially got involved, frankly, have changed. But sexual abuse has impacted my family, and so it hits close to home. And the struggle is I didn't realize how much it impacted my family till I got involved. And so the reason I stay involved is there was this challenge and issue going on all around me with the people I love the most, and I didn't really know about it, and I'm not okay with that. And I think it's very common for many of us. We have survivors all around us. We have children all around us that we love that are at risk, and we don't realize how significant the problem is because so many people just shove it under the rug. But once I got involved, it became very apparent to me that I needed to be a part of the solution. And to see someone heal or see a child protected, there's nothing more motivating to me to keep going than that.
Well, Chris, it's been a pleasure talking with you today. Thank you so much for joining us here on Mountain Connections. If you want to learn more about the Unique Foundation, just head to uniquefoundation.org online. We'll be back with more. Park City Education Foundation is up next.